So, I mean, every day we kind of do this. We say that our dog did it. We say that it isn't our fault, it has nothing to do with us, and that we are not responsible for what has happened. And we feel that it is really you who have to take on the consequences and be responsible for your actions. Um, we don't even claim the accountability of it because at the end of the day, it was your fault. You had one job to do and you didn't even do it. What am I talking about? Blame. So, hello everybody. It's your girl, the Nerd Z, and welcome to another episode of What Are You Saying? Communication 101. So, you can ask, what is blame? Or what is blaming? Get my handy dandy Samsung. No, this video is not sponsored by Samsung, but one of these days it will be. Going to dictionary.reference.com and we're looking up the definition of blame. To hold responsibility, find fault with, censor. The example that they use, I don't blame you for leaving him. Or to place the responsibility for a fault, error, etc., usually followed by or on. I blame the accident on her. Basically, it is just saying that the whole fault or responsibility is on somebody else or something else. Now, of course, that may not be the case. In conversational communication, it doesn't really work like that. Sometimes the issue could really not be on the individual or the other individual, but more so on us. And we fail to realize that. Prime example would be, say you didn't do your homework and you didn't hand it in on time. Some people would say that, oh, because of this happening, that's the reason why I couldn't get it done. My roommates were making too much noise and that's why I couldn't study. Everything was going wrong, and I mean, I was late for the bus, the internet wasn't set up, the bell person didn't come in, I couldn't have access to the internet, I couldn't finish all these other stuff. And to the person receiving it, they could either say, you know what, I understand. They can empathize with you and be like, you know what, I understand. You know, things happen, and you know what, there's nothing that you could have done, and that's why. And you could get either an extension, or the person may say, well, that was your fault. You were at fault. You didn't take ownership. You didn't take accountability, and that's why it's your issue. Do not blame all the other things and everything around you as to why you couldn't complete this assignment. Now, the person could be thinking and scratching their head like, how? How am I at fault? I just told you exactly what was the reason, why it happened, who it is to blame, and you're still telling me that I'm the one to be who's in the wrong. Well, this is the thing about blame. Blame is more so the fact of being dismissive of what your exact responsibilities are. Let's stay with the homework. If you had an assignment that was due and you could not figure out how to finish or complete this assignment. Thing is, by saying that your roommates are too loud and therefore you couldn't finish, you could have, this is the part where it's you could have, remove yourself from the area. You could have went to a local library. You could have went to a friend's house. You could have went to another home. You could have asked your roommates to lower their volume and acknowledge the fact that you're trying to concentrate and study outside. Key things could have been done. Another thing that could have been done is that you could have had your written up summary, handwritten it if your internet was down, and go in, tell your teacher, and I mean, someone would turn around and be like, that's no excuse. Everyone has data these days. Again, not everyone can afford data. Just saying, these phone bills are ridiculous. But they would say that, hey, you could have sent it on email. You could have typed it on your email. You could have sent an email to your professor explaining what's going on and had somebody say, hey, the bell person didn't come in. We're going to send a transcript to you, and therefore you could forward it to your professor and let them know that under these circumstances, you couldn't do your stuff. That's it. It would have been said that it was done, blah, blah, blah. And then you would have an actual concrete reason as to why it wasn't done. But at the end of it, if you came to your professor and said that I couldn't do it because my roommate was too loud, the internet wasn't set up, and my dog ate my homework, I'm sorry, but you could have acknowledged your roommate or gone to the local library. You could have gotten a written note from Bell, the company, and say that we are sorry that we could not do this, and this is the reason why the system has been down, or you need to train your dog better and give them some obedience. Just saying. So at the end of it, you need to realize what it is that you are doing that you may be causing to blame somebody when it really wasn't their fault, and you need to be the one who's accountable for what you've done. So if by any chance you get into a pickle and you're like, oh, it's that person, they're the reason why this happened, just stop, wait, think about it, and say, is it really that individual? And what could I have done to make it easier for me? A lot of times people don't understand, when you are in the frame of mind of blaming someone, you stop yourself and you limit yourself from thinking of many solutions and how to get over an obstacle. When you set yourself on blaming an individual, blaming a thing, a situation, you no longer think about anything else and you make yourself more narrow-minded. Like I said, when the next time you feel like raising a finger and saying that this is the reason why and you've done all of this, stop and really think about it and say, could I have had a part or some part in making it end up being like this? Because most times you probably did. And you shouldn't be blaming them. Hopefully you take away something from this. Later days, guys. Bye. So I would like to shout out to The Vent. I hope you guys take the time out to listen. I will have the link listed below so you could have a view or you could have a listen as to what's going on in The Vent. She was amazing. So I want you guys to support her like she did when she was supporting me. So I'm going to have her in the description box below, and I want you guys to really follow and see what she does.